I believe in you completely. You are my dearest one, my reason for life. You give me hope in times of trial, joy in my saddest hours, and love me until I can no longer. I love you today and forever after. Forever yours, Nick.
What's up, everyone? Vu of Vu Films. I am back with another idiotic video for you to watch. And yes, it's been a while. I've been very busy pretty much this week. Have 4 corporate shoots, have a wedding every day. Okay, so pretty much every day is either I'm filming something or I'm editing something. So I just haven't had any time. And even right now, I'm doing something just completely random. Got a tripod. Got my Sony a7S III with the 14mm G Master lens. Matter of fact, GM doesn't stand for G Master. It stands for got money, because if you got G Master lenses or you got GM lenses, you got money. Something I don't think I do. That's why I'm working so much. For those of you who have been my loyal subscribers for a long time, you know that I usually film stuff in my office studio. And I haven't had that for a few months because I just recently moved in the house, and I'm still working on that. I'm still working on my office and all that stuff. So like, it's been very tough for me to film these talking head type YouTube douchey videos. So with that being said, I'm gonna just go on with the subject matter at hand, which is wedding sneak peeks for all you wedding filmmakers, for all of you wannabe wedding filmmakers, for all you wedding filmmakers on your way up. Let's talk about wedding sneak peeks, and I'm not talking about sneak peeks that you send a month, 2 months later. I'm talking about sneak peeks that you send the next day after the wedding, the next maybe 2 days after the wedding. Matter of fact, on my contract, I say 24 hours to 48 hours after your wedding date. And today, I'm going to discuss why I do it and why I think you should do it, and of course, how I do it. So, why do I do wedding sneak peeks, and why you should too? 24 hours after the wedding. Pretty much, reason number 1, look at what you see at the wedding. You see guests with their cell phones out. The photographer is taking a bunch of shots, and then the next morning you probably see a bunch of cell phone footage, a bunch of cell phone photos. You see the photographer posting sneak peeks out there, and the videographer doesn't have anything to give, right? All you know, what are you gonna do? Industry standard, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year from now, whatever your particular industry standard is, it's gonna take you that long for the couple to even see anything from you. So with that said, when you do a next day sneak peek, it kind of keeps you it kind of lets you keep pace with all the other content that is out there. Guests have their photos and videos, photographers got their photos out. You need to get something out. It just helps you keep pace with today's social media. When I started doing sneak peeks, I guess 3 years ago, Instagram was limited to only 1 minute. Pretty much as soon as Instagram launched the 1 minute videos on like their general Instagram post, I started doing sneak peeks. I was like, wow, I'm gonna start doing this. The other thing is, it's paid for. I see some videographers who charge for next day sneak peeks. My sneak peeks are baked into the package. Okay, I realized a few years back that I hate doing these special deliverables, as in like USB hard drives, custom made with their names on it and all that stuff. Going to the post office, mailing it out. I'm not big enough where I have someone working for me, some admin doing this stuff for me. I got to do all that stuff myself, and I hate it. I absolutely hate doing that stuff, and that's something clients would usually charge for, right? The clients usually pay for, they're paying for that special deliverables. And so what I did was I said, how about they don't pay for that special deliverables? How about I just give it to them a link on Vimeo to stream and download of their videos? And instead of them paying for like the special USB, they end up just paying for a 24-hour sneak peek. So now I just give 24-hour sneak peeks, and then I do not give any special USB, special like tangible item, because I feel like, in my opinion, for my wedding, I would have loved getting a 24-hour sneak peek versus getting a DVD that is sitting somewhere in my house. I don't no idea where it is, but it's somewhere. And I think couples, if they were to pick between the two, they would much rather have an epic 24-hour sneak peek than some USB that's going to be sitting inside some drawer. Thirdly, because next day it kind of keeps you relevant with, next day it keeps you relevant with the whole wedding, immediately. You get good advertising for yourself. You tag the vendors, you tag the bride and groom if you know them like that, and pretty much all the vendors see this video the next day, and one, they're very impressed by it, and two, if you were not a douchebag the day of, guess who's going to be fresh in your mind when they refer a videographer to another client? Your douchebag ass. So that's another reason. Just straight up, just great advertising for you. The other reason is when you're in the girthiness of the wedding season, if you're like me and you're shooting, 20, 25, 30, 35 weddings a year, you are probably filming a wedding every weekend. And if you're also like me, you have a second shooter. So during the time I edit the wedding sneak peek film, the day after that wedding, I'm also reviewing some footage, right? And if I see any issues, any areas of concern, such as when we first switched over to A7S III and started shooting S-Log3, there's some exposure issues here and there. I can see it right away and then address it for the next week versus not seeing it for like a few weeks and then shoot multiple weddings with the wrong settings. So it's like stuff like that. It pretty much keeps me fresh on the loop of how the videos are looking and what we have to do to execute our game plan better the following week. Another thing, I think it also builds trust between you and the wedding couple. Because, a lot of times, couples, they go through and they look at my portfolio and they book me, they pay a bunch of money. And then when I deliver them the film, they tell me like they were like so impressed, like it's unbelievable, they did not expect to get that. And it kind of comes to me as shockers. They've seen my portfolio, like why would they not expect to get a film that good? And sometimes, couples, they doubt, they don't know necessarily if, I'm the type of videographer. I post all of my films, regardless if it's like this quality, wherever. I always post it on my website. It's always in my portfolio. So you pretty much see like every film I work on, essentially. Where some videographers may pick and choose like the good ones. So maybe couples think that, they're unsure if their video is going to turn out that great, or, maybe the day of the wedding things were like messy and, unorganized, and their wedding just felt like it was all over the place and like not well planned, or something, or this, that, and the other happened that they didn't like the look of. What you do is, because you're a videographer, you should know how to capture things like beautifully, regardless of how not pleasing it may be, or regardless of how bad the lighting is, whatever. You're always able to film, compose, color grade the video a certain way so that it looks good to the couple. So when you deliver them that sneak peek the next day, they're like, oh wow, this looks great. Like, it kind of like lets them trust you, so that while you're spending time editing their final film, you're not going to get like a whole bunch of emails asking you about the film, asking you where it is. They trust that you're working on it and that you deliver it. I rarely get, it could take me 3 to 4 months to, there was a time when it took me even longer, maybe 5, closer to 6 months, to deliver the final film. And a lot of times I never even got a question of what the status of the film was. And I think part of it is because I gave them a sneak peek that day after, and they trusted that the footage was good, everything's gonna look good, and that they just gotta let me do my work. And to be quite honest, when couples rush me to like get things done, I have a tendency to try to rush things to get things done. So I don't like doing that. The more time couples allow me to concentrate on my job, the better the film is going to be. And I'm pretty sure most videographers agree with that. So with that being said, that's why I do it. And I also think you should do it, because it does nothing but benefit your wedding filmmaking business. And of course, you have to have the capability of doing that. And now I'm going to talk about how I do these wedding sneak peeks. So I have several tips of how to do these wedding sneak peeks. First one is you need to have a good computer. All right, if you're over here, you have some old trash computer that like has to like take a long time to load, takes a long time to render. You have like these newer cameras, and you got to sit there and do proxies and what have you. It's going to be a problem. You're not going to be able to complete a wedding sneak peek in 3 hours or so. That's how long it takes me to do sneak peeks. Put in the footage, find a song, and I have sneak peek is done, because my computer can do real time timeline, real time preview. So I shoot Sony a7S III, XAVCS, 4K 60, a lot of times 4K 120, 422, and I could literally just drag and drop files. I don't have to sit there and cull. I don't have to sit there and do proxies. I can just drag and drop right onto the timeline. And this is important to be able to edit these things fast, is because you go through this is important because you just got to go through all the footage really quick. So a lot of times my sneak peek consists of mostly footage from my camera. Like I said, I have a second shooter. His name is Say Park. He's also a YouTube douchebag like myself. So this is his channel. I'll link it in the description. You can go see his channel. But pretty much I'll ask him, if you have any footage that you really like, that you captured during the day, and you think that it'll be good in the sneak peek, just let me know. During the wedding, whenever we have downtime, whether it be during our eating our vendor meals, what have you, he would just show me, hey, look, check out this shot. And I remember, and then I'll go look for it when I do a sneak peek that night or the day after, and I can just go through his folder and I can see all of it. And then, yeah, pretty much especially since you're editing the next day, you kind of remember what the good shots were, what the good moments were, and then so you could pull that really easily. So I literally, as soon as I get home from a wedding, it could be 11 p.m., 12 p.m. or whatever. If it's really, really late, like 2 a.m., yeah, I'll probably wait until the next morning. But it's very simple, guys. You have let's say you have 4 cameras, right? One of the cameras was your second shooter's. So he gives me his SD card. So I get that SD card. I get the SD cards out of all 3 of my cameras. I get the audio, and I get the drone SD card. So now I have all the SD cards. I go to my computer, and I have USB-C dongles, and I just like put 3 SD cards in at a time, transfer all those over, and it probably takes me, for 300 or so, a little bit over 300 gigabytes of data, maybe 400 gigabytes, it takes me probably a maximum of 45 minutes to get all that audio over. So during that time, if it's late at night, I'll put it through and I'll just go take a shower. Or while that's going on, while it's transferring, I'll listen to music to find a track to use for the sneak peek. And it's really up to you, your taste in terms of what music you like to use. I like music that builds to something. So it starts off a little bit slow and it builds, or it is already very upbeat, slows down and builds back up. That's the type of music I usually like to use for a sneak peek. Again, it's usually slow and builds up, or it starts off upbeat, slows down, then builds back up, all within a minute. Sometimes you could take a couple of tracks and mix it together, do what you got to do to get the results you need with your music. But so that's fast computer. Then you transfer all your files over. Now you have all the files in folders. And I just named my folders like Sony A7S III I, which is mine, Sony A7S III II, which is another Sony A7S III, Sony A7S III SE, which is my second shooter's, my co-cinematographer's SD card, and A7R III, which is another camera angle that I use. Drone, and then audio. Very simple, right? And most of the time, I'm living in Sony A7S III I, which is my camera, which is the B-roll camera, the prep camera. That's where I'm at. So, and then, you just kind of go through. So then it comes, how do I like compile these sneak peeks? How do I edit them? How do I figure out like how to do them? And by rule, I always want to tell a story, okay? Like, I know a lot of other sneak peeks. I've seen some sneak peeks where like nothing happens. Like, and I'm not complaining about it. I'm not droning. I'm not like clowning, to each their own. But I've seen some where it's just artistic, it just shows maybe 45 seconds of just something, but it doesn't really, there's no story to it. It's literally quite, it's as teaser as you can get. I actually like to try to cover the whole day on my sneak peeks. So obviously the first 10 seconds, a maximum of 15 seconds, I use that as to be eye-catching, right? To draw people in who is not the couple, okay? To draw people in who aren't the couple. So that's, if it's, like I said, if the song starts upbeat, it's very quick cuts, quick editing, style of like maybe the reception. It's cool footage, flashy and all that stuff. And after that 15 seconds mark, I want to transition to somewhat of a linear edit where all of a sudden it's like prep, ceremony, reception, and some type of ending to wrap it up. Okay. So the one I recently did, which I'll show right now.
Here are a few of my words to consider: understanding, helpfulness, consideration, forgiveness, working together, playing together, to name a few. My wish is that your love will grow as mine did for Grampy. Have a wonderful time today. Be thankful for all the love that surrounds you, especially from me, your Grampy.
As you can see, it is pretty much, the first 15 seconds is eye-catching. It is, lack of a better word, some of the better footage of the day. Like sunset, couples together, very beautiful shots, right? And then so I do that within the first 10, 15 seconds. And then I try to transition over somehow to get back to like just a linear timeline of prep, ceremony, reception, ending. And that's exactly what I did. I used her with her dress, and I transitioned from that to, just prep stuff, the beginning of the day. And then I go through ceremony, and I go through reception, and it ends. And, it's pretty basic. But the key is that first 10 seconds, 15 seconds is like that room for being creative, right? This is just me. This is how I do sneak peeks, because I want the couple to pretty much get to relive the whole day, and not just some small portion of the day or something random. And I want to be able to tell a story. I don't want to just have random montage of footage that doesn't really go anywhere. It has to tell a story, even in that minute, a sneak peek, it has to tell a story. And the story is their wedding day, beginning to end. Prep, ceremony, reception, ending. And that's what I do. So first 10, 15 seconds, just to draw in the viewer. Romantic shots, good sunset shots, pretty much like really nice shots, right? And then you go into prep. And obviously these are quick cuts, as the music builds, because you only have so much time. You have 45 seconds or less to come up with prep and all that stuff into the shots, and you fit into you could fit in little sequences here and there, and then you cover the whole day, and it does the job, and couples love it, and it keeps it simple, so I could edit it within a few hours and not a whole week or a month or something. You know what I mean? Like, I could surely do all this crazy, editing and transitions and all that stuff, but it'll take too long. The idea is to get it back done within 24 hours, to have something to show to the couple, and to make you stay relevant, within that first couple days of the wedding. And yeah, I mean, I've booked so many weddings off of my sneak peeks alone. I get a lot of couples that were at that wedding that reached out to me that week because they saw the sneak peek and said, hey, we were at so-and-so's wedding, we saw your sneak peek, and we're getting married this day. Like, we'd like to inquire about your services for our wedding. I'm telling you guys, see what you can do. If you're like an established videographer and you're trying to up your game, or you're trying to book more clients or whatever, see what you can do to just start fitting in these sneak peeks into your wedding filmmaking package. If you're new, if you're just starting off, I think it's a no-brainer. You should definitely, whether it be just, since you're new, just offer the sneak peek for free as, something to lure them in to book you, or just charge something for it. Bake it into your package. Say it's included. This is what I do. It's something that I offer, and use it to, obviously as a benefit to your couples, but also use a sneak peek as so it benefits your business. I'm telling you guys, sneak peeks are cool because it allows you to, you could be more creative with an edit versus, doing a full doc film or something like that. And like I said, it just, there's more benefits to it than cost. I think the return on investment of delivering next day, 24 to 48 hour type sneak peeks, man, it's well worth it. So with that being said, guys, that is it for today. Kind of a long-winded video. I hope that the information helped some of you guys. And till next time, lighten up.